Hello guys. So in today's exercise we are going to be looking at some conditional sum functions. That's some intermediate functions in Excel, like the conditional sum functions, the SUMIF, and also the conditional count function, which is the count if or count ifs. So first of all, I already have a table here showing the names of the staffs of an organization, their positions, their grade level, and their bonus. And then I have the list of all the positions listed here, which I'm going to use to create a drop down list right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is to activate this cell to create a list of positions where I can choose from. So I'll activate that. I'll click on the cell, go to data, and then look for data validation. Click on it, and then from the data validations menu, first thing you do is to allow list. All right, change it from any value to list, and then from the source you go to source. Since I already have my data source in my spreadsheet, the list of all the positions, I'll just place my cursor here and then highlight all the positions in these organizations and then click OK. So this is going to create a list of all the different positions in this company or organization right here for me. So the next thing I'm going to do is to use this conditional function, the SUMIF, to calculate. For instance, let's find out the total bonus, the total bonus for all the directors in this organization. So I'll come over here and I'll say equal to SUMIF, open bracket. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to select the range where I can find the position. So I'll come over to my table under position and highlight all the positions, comma, and then next thing is the criteria. The criteria is right here, the director. So I'll click on that, and then finally the sum range. So where can I find the values I'm about to add up? Is right here under bonus. So I'll highlight everything under bonus, and that's all. So all I need to do is now is close the bracket and hit enter. So this is going to give me the total for all the directors. So I'm going to add the currency symbol right there. Yeah, so the total bonus for all the directors is 10,000 naira. So if I come over here, this director gets a bonus of 5,000, and then we have another director right here, 5,000 naira. We have only two directors here, so adding their two bonus gives us the total of 10,000 naira. So I can also come over here and select the manager, which is 6,000 naira, HR manager 4,000 naira, the web developers get 7,000 naira, data scientists combined get 9,000 naira bonus. So that's how you use the conditional sum if or sum function. Now you can also do it based on multiple criteria. So first of all, I might want to get the positions again. So to do that, all I need to do is come over here, drag down, all right, so that I won't have to go over to data validation all over again. So I can still select my positions from here, and then over here I can add another criteria, a second criteria. Maybe I want to add up all the bonus for all the data scientists, for instance. All right, for all the data scientists, the data scientists of grade level 2, at grade level 2. So I'll come over here, and then I can type that over there, and then I'm going to remove that currency symbol. Okay, I can just set that to number. Okay, so I'll come over here now. I can use the conditional sum function again. This time I'm going to use sum ifs and then open the bracket. Now inside the bracket, the first thing I'm going to do is to select the sum range, which is the range of cells containing the bonus. That's the sum range. Secondly, the criteria range 1. This is the first criteria, which is the job title. So this is where we have the job titles or the positions. So I'll select that as the criteria range 1, comma. Then the next thing is criteria 1. So the criteria 1 is right here, the job title itself. So I'll select that, comma. So since we are working with two criteria this time, this is the second criteria. First thing I need to select here is the criteria range 2, which is where I'm going to find the grade level. So I'll come over to grade level and highlight the range, comma. Then secondly, criteria 2, this is our second criteria. I'll select that, and that is it. Since we only have two criteria, we'll stop here. So I'm going to close the bracket now and enter. This is going to give me the amount of money uh, for all, that is the bonus for all the data scientists at grade level 2. So if I come over here, look for the data scientist, this person is grade level 2, that's 4,000 naira. Another data scientist, 1,000 naira, and I think that's about it. The next data scientist is on grade level 3, which doesn't meet our criteria, so our calculation is correct. This time we are going to be using the second conditional count function, which is the count if and count ifs function. Just like the first drop down list we created, I also have a similar drop down list here for all the job positions, the job titles right here. I also have that same list here. So now let's assume that I want to count the number of human resource managers in this company. All right, so we can use the count if function for that. So here's how we do that. I'm going to start with equal to, then count if, open bracket, and then inside the bracket, still following our syntax, first thing we are going to select is the range. So the range of cells, the column where the job positions are located, which is right here. So I'm going to highlight the entire job positions, comma. And then secondly is the criteria. The criteria is right here, our HR manager. So I'll select that, and that's about it. So now I'm going to close the bracket and we are done. So again, you enter your function, which is the count if, then you select the criteria range, which is on the table, and then the criteria itself. So next you hit enter, and then it tells us that we have only one human resource manager right here in this company. So what if I choose a different job position? Let's say chief security. We also have only one of those. And then next thing, let's say director. We have two directors in this company. And then manager, we also have two managers if you count them. And then data scientists, I think we have up to 3 data scientists right here in this company, and so on. So you can use the count if function to count entry or your data based on certain criteria or conditions. Next thing, we can also use more than one criteria like we did before when looking at the sum if. So first of all, I want to count all the human resource managers whose grade level is, let's say, 6, who is at grade level 6 or a different grade level. So first thing I'm going to do here is to add a drop down list for all the grade levels, which I already created a list here. So again, we are going to use our data validation to create that drop down list. So I'm going to activate that cell, go to data, and then look for data validation. Again, change this to list, and then for the source, you just highlight all the grade levels and then click OK. Now we have a drop down list for all the different grade levels 1 to 7. All right, so next thing, I'm going to use the count ifs conditional count function to count the number of HR managers we have at a particular grade level in this company. So I'm going to say equal to count ifs, and then open the bracket. Inside the bracket, first thing I'm going to do is select the criteria range. Okay, the criteria range for the first criteria, which is the job position. So highlight that, comma. Next thing is the criteria 1. Again, we are working with two different criteria this time. This is the first criteria, so I'm going to select that as the first criteria. And then next thing is criteria range 2, which is going to be the grade level. So this is the range containing the grade level. I'm going to select that, comma, and then the criteria 2, even though there's nothing here yet, I'm going to click on that. And we are only working with two criteria, so it means we are done. We don't need to go to criteria 3. We only have two criteria, so I'm going to close the bracket and enter. This is going to return 0 because we haven't selected a grade level. So I'm going to select grade level 1. Of course, there is no human resource manager at grade level 1. I'm going to remove that currency symbol, change that to number. Okay, so I think our human resource manager is at grade level 6, so I'm going to select that, and you see that we have one human resource manager at grade level 6. How about director? So if I come over here and pick the director, we also have one director at grade level 6. How about web developer? None at grade level 6. How about grade level 3? We have one. Grade level 4, we've got one. Grade level 5, we've got 0. Grade level 2, we've got 0. So you can use this to check, to count the number of times a particular data appears, all right, on your table using a conditional count function.